Hi, I'm Davis.
And I'm Andy.
And welcome to another episode of Game Grazers Discuss. Hi, Andy. How are you?
Hi, Davis. I'm great. How about you?
Meat Boy is done.
I can smell the meat.
Yes. Well done. And we moved on to something even more torturous in that time, didn't we? So we don't actually have a question this week because no one sent us questions. Please send us questions at www.gamegrazers.com/discuss. Please send them to us so we don't have to just pull topics out of our butts. Like talking about, was E.T. really actually that bad?
And don't ask us medical questions. We're not doctors.
No, please, no, that's terrible. So, yes, that's our discussion today. Was E.T. that terrible? And kind of on that same vein, it's like, well, I don't know. I think E.T. gets a bum rap. I want to set the record straight. It's a terrible game. Totally 100% atrocious. But I think it gets a bad rap. I think a lot of people, I think it's sort of colloquially known as, the cause of the 1983 game crash. And I think it was really just more of a symptom.
Would you call it kind of like the bombing of Hiroshima, in that the end of World War II is coming anyway? It just had to go out with a big bang?
Sort of. Here's the analogy I came up with, and I think this is hilarious, actually. So, for those of you unfamiliar with that time period, basically what ended up happening was that a bunch of developers in the old Atari days basically made a bunch of really crappy shovelware games without much quality control or anything, and essentially flooded the market with bad games, and people got disinterested in games, no one cared anymore, and then that's how the bottom basically fell from underneath of them. And sort of E.T. was there at the forefront. It was this Wild West kind of era of no rules, no regulations.
And they really overcommitted. I mean, they made tons and tons of copies of E.T. because they thought it was going to sell like gangbusters.
Yeah, so here's my crazy analogy was, it was a time period when a bunch of developers were just throwing spaghetti at the wall waiting to see what sticks. And all you ended up with was a wall covered in tomato sauce and maybe 10, 15, 20 noodles. And at the bottom of the wall, you just have this gigantic pile of noodles. And right there in the middle of it is this congealed glob of spaghetti that represents E.T. And everyone points to the giant glob instead of the giant pile and says, that's what caused the crash. That's what made everything fall off the wall.
There you go. That's a good analogy.
E.T. was not the cause. It was the highest profile symptom of that problem.
Yeah, that's the right way to think of it. It was a symptom.
Yeah, that it was a terrible game released in a flood of other terrible games that flew under the radar because they didn't have a name attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of feel what it really is it is not the game that caused the crash. It is not the worst game ever made. It's up there. It definitively is up there. It can definitely be ranked as one of the worst games of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, what it really represents is it was probably the very first shitty, rushed movie tie-in game. Not that it tied into the release like we're used to these days. It tied into, because the story basically is that E.T. came out. Oddly enough, this weekend is the 34th anniversary of E.T.
The time has flown by, believe me.
And so it came out early in the year, and then it became this huge hit, and basically Atari rushed to try and get the rights, but they was kind of caught up in legal malarkey for a while, and then they're like, we want this out for a Christmas release, and then gave it to the project to one guy to finish in 5.5 weeks, and then it was on the market.
He did have a couple winners under his belt, right? He did Yara's Revenge and Raiders of the Lost Ark, which I still don't think was a great game, but is regarded as a better game than E.T.
Yeah. So, and from that, I think that was just the beginning of that trend of shitting out movie tie-in or media tie-in games that are rushed with minimal production and minimal staff in order to cash in on a popularity of something. We've seen it time and time again over the years.
Hey, Avatar from James Cameron's movie, horrible game.
Was it really?
Horrible game.
But then, and oddly enough, if you inverse it where you don't necessarily tie it into release and you have time to actually, produce a game and have people behind the game, then you end up with some winners, like the Ghostbusters video game that came out in the 360 generation. I felt was I mean, even as a Ghostbusters fan, I just felt on the game on its own was really solid. It was a great game.
Pretty competent. Of course, they paid money for the voice acting.
And I mean, the guys wrote it, but the game itself played very well. And then, of course, the king of tie-in titles came out 4 years after its original movie, which was GoldenEye 007. Hailed as one of the greatest local co-op party games ever made.
Developed by Rare.
By Rare.
Back in the Golden Age.
Back in the days when they were more relevant than they are now.
When they aren't making Kinect games and compilations of their old games.
Yeah. So like I said, I feel E.T. gets a bit of a bum rap. Still terrible. The collision detection is terrible. There's really absolutely no guidance of what you're supposed to do. Even if you have guidance, as you probably saw with us, you just have no idea what you're doing.
Oh, so cryptic.
It's exceedingly cryptic. I can words. Yeah, it's just, and you just really have no clue what's going on. Even when you meet winning conditions, you're not sure if you met the winning conditions, and you got to wait for things to happen. I actually found out from a coworker of ours that I guess some people have actually gone and tried to fix some of the major glitches. Like they fixed the hole detection.
Oh, okay.
And the energy bar and all the other things that.
So it's like ET Redux,
basically. But I mean, I'm sure even then it's still not an enjoyable gaming experience.
I think it should be a first-person exploration game on the Unity engine.
That's just opening a can of worms right there. So based upon our gameplay, we would love to know what you thought of E.T. Had you seen E.T. before? Was that your first experience with it? Do you think that E.T. really is the cause of the crash, or is it just a symptom, or what have you? Let us know down in comments below, or however you'd like to get in touch with us. And if you would please be so kind so we don't have to make up topics, please send in your questions to GameGrazers.com/discuss so that we have topics to discuss that you sent us, because we like it when you send us questions, right?
We do.
You guys have sent us some great questions.
I will not marry you, though.
No.
Don't send that question.
Do not send that question. And please don't send joke questions. I asked for questions today, and I got 5 joke topics.
Uh-oh.
Not really, just 2, but still.
You made a joke right there.
1, 2, 5. 3, sir. 3. Anyway, thank you, Andy.
Thank you, Davis.
We'll catch you next time.
Yep, bye.
Ciao.